Alright, this is Andrew with Joda Home Inspections. We're doing a sewer scope today here in Mill Creek. We're at 2491 Evergreen. And we've got the camera pushed at 125 feet to the city connection. Today is July 22nd, 2022. And now we're going to pull it back and record it and see what we find. So this first connection point is called the nose on. First you'll notice on the screen some running water. That's the main city line, so that's water running down and sewage. Pretty active line, being on a kind of a little bit more of a main road. And then this is called the nose on. This is where it goes from your lateral line into the main city line. Maybe a little bit of a small crack on the top left part of the line. Hard to get a real good angle on it. It could be a joint. I don't see any separation on the bottom. And that's gravel cement. Gravel cement nose on, and then it transitions to clay. You have a lot of different types of pipe. So that red terracotta color was clay. Now it's transitioning to transite, which is a kind of more of a white. It's cement asbestos. Little bit of an offset. You can see that lip right there on the screen. That's a spot where waste could potentially get stuck and create a blockage. That's a pretty small offset, but big enough that in the right circumstance it could catch a piece of debris. It's a good sign that it's not holding debris today. No standing water so far, which is great. That indicates proper grade. You always want everything to be draining on its own with gravity. A little bit of cast iron, and it looks like that's probably just for a clean out. Cast iron gets really rough and rusty, as you can tell. It's more likely to catch debris. You definitely want to avoid wet wipes going down the line, or any feminine hygiene products. Nothing down the line that you don't need to put down. I didn't see that clean out. Somewhere out towards the street, most likely. A lot of times they're buried. And now we're transitioning to PVC. So you do have some newer pipe. Right now we're about 73 feet out. And so that's about 50 feet of older line. And so that's probably the more difficult area to replace. That's out in the street where it connects to the city line. That's still the homeowner's responsibility. It's looking, pretty decent overall. It's performing the way that you want it to be, but you should be aware that it's not all been replaced. Also, I'll note that that's not 70 feet from the edge of the house out. That's 70 feet from the top of the roof down and then out. The seller mentioned that it was replaced out to the sidewalk. I don't know if that's the sidewalk by the street or the sidewalk in the front yard. All this is looking great, proper grade. No roots. This is basically the entire line from the house out to that wherever it transitions near the sidewalk. Because right here we're making the turn, and you barely have any cast iron at the bottom. Maybe a few feet is all, which is great. I mean, you're real close to the edge of the house, and so there's not a lot going underneath the house, but I would say there's only a couple feet of cast iron at the bottom of this stack. A lot of times I'll see where they replace the line out through the yard, but you'll have 40 feet of cast iron underneath the house. And this house is set up in such a way that you barely have any cast iron under the house before it goes out. So just to recap, a lot of the line has been replaced, not all. You have a little bit of an offset, no standing water, no roots. You do have a little bit of cast iron. You could consider getting the insurance on this line just because you do have some of the older sections of pipe that are more prone to have issues, more prone than the newer PVC. But overall, it looks like this line is performing the way that you want it to be. I'm going to end this recording now.